welcome to Lesson 6. It's going to be the last lesson in Module 2. I want you to think about your favorite conversations. They usually involve people telling stories, whether it's a funny thing that happened at the grocery store or maybe a life event. Storytelling is how humans connect. But telling a story in English can feel overwhelming. Today, I'll give you a simple framework to tell engaging, clear, and natural stories in English. Let's dive in. First of all, let's have the framework. A good story structure will use 3 C's. What are the 3 C's? Okay, 3 C's are context, conflict, and conclusion. Let's start with context. You need to set a scene, who, where, and when. For example, you will start like, a few years ago, I was traveling in Italy. So, I just say where, Italy, who, I, and when, few years ago. Or we could say, the other day, I was walking to work. Look, work, other day, I. Lovely. Number 2, the conflict. This is actually the interesting part. What went wrong? What happened actually? What's the problem? So you can say and suddenly I realized I had lost my passport. Or we can say, when out of nowhere, it starts pouring rain, right? So it's just the most interesting part. And number 3, you remember? Excellent. Conclusion. And this is the resolution. How did it end? How did you feel at the end? You can say, in the end, a kind stranger found it and returned it. If you are just talking about something you lost. Or you can say, so I showed up to the meeting completely shocked. It was so embarrassing. Okay? Nice. To move smoothly now from context to conflict to conclusion, you need sequencing words. You call sequencing words. These acts like bridge. It's bridge between your ideas. So instead of saying and, okay, just repeating and, try these. Beginning with to start off or initially, at the first or at first. All of them, you can use them at the beginning. To start off, initially, at first. In the middle, when the action happens, you can say, suddenly, next thing I know, out of nowhere, or then. Right? And at the end, you can say, eventually, in the end, looking back. Now let's surprise. I'll give you a scenario, and you need to give me 1 sentence for context, 1 for conflict, and 1 for conclusion using sequencing words. Alright? The scenario is, you missed your flight. You can pause the video right here and start practicing. Perfect. Thank you so much for practicing. You're doing a great job. Okay, let's move on to adding emotions and details. Lovely. A story without emotions is just a report or an article. In order to make your story engaging, add descriptive adjectives and adverbs. And instead of saying, I was scared, say, I was absolutely terrified. And instead of saying, it was a bad day, say, it was a completely bad day. It was a complete disaster. So, the most important thing, use your voice and remember the lesson of intonation. You remember it? I hope so. So, you can use higher pitch for exciting parts and lower pitch for serious parts. Alright? Lovely. Now, storytelling is a powerful tool for fluency. Your homework is to prepare a 1-minute story about a memorable travel experience or a funny mistakes you made. Okay? Use the 3 C's framework and practice telling it out loud. That's the end of Module 2. Yay! Next is going to be Module 3. We'll dive into idioms. Lovely. I love that lesson. Idioms and phrases, by the way, phrasal verbs, to make you sound even more natural. So, thank you so much. Bye. See you there.